How's it going, my viewers? Hope you guys are all having a good day. So before I jump right into What If Naruto Was an Angel Part 2, I just want to say, hey, thanks for 100 subs again. Let's keep the train going. Let's get to 200, maybe by end of, maybe by next month. The end of next month, maybe. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. So let's jump right into What If Naruto Was an Angel Part 2. So, Minato Namikaze. I hope that you understand, you have a grasp of the basic inner workings of the, well, multiverse, universe, whatever you like to call it. Since I kind of have a problem with a certain species that I created a few millennia ago. My father, he has a tendency to not tell us, his children, about certain rules until they become relevant. In his own words, he says, there's no point in learning about something if it's not important at the time. So that's his idea of telling us to not screw up so he doesn't have to deal with us. Because he kind of doesn't like us. Because we're not the perfect beings that he always wanted, the perfect children. So anyways, I've noticed that your son has died, and well, he's gonna go to my brother Shin, the death god that you summoned. He's gonna go with him to the bottom, hell, whatever you like to call it. But I can resurrect your son if you would like, but he would go into service. He will enter my service and help me snuff out a few individuals. Not that many, only a few hundred, but that's really it. After that's working's done, he can do whatever he wants with his pitiful life that he wants. So wait, you're telling me you can bring my son back to life? Yeah, fine, whatever. I don't care. As long as Naruto's able to live a happy life and have friends and is able to grow up, I'm okay with that. Doesn't matter. Whatever he has to do or I have to do, I'll do anything for my son, for my family. Okay, then we have settled Minato. But well, before I bring your son back to life, there's a few things we have to go over, just to make sure that, well, my father doesn't complain about this and say that I manipulated a mortal into serving me practically directly. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to revive your son and what he's going to do with me so that you can say yes and not complain about it. So, I, as a god of this realm, I'm able to revive beings by bestowing a small amount of my own divinity upon an individual or species, for the matter of fact, by spilling a droplet of my blood on an individual. He gains all my abilities, but to a very, very, very inferior degree. Wouldn't even call them my own at their abilities. So, for each droplet of blood that any god spills on a mortal, that increases their, well, divinity. For example, I have the ability, as you can see, to bend reality to my will. Your son, if I would give him a droplet of my blood, he'd be able to shape continents, turn the ocean into sand, turn all the trees into a poisonous gas, whatever he would like to do. But if I were to give him 2 droplets of my blood, of my divinity, well, he could turn the entire planet into a piece of gum, turn the sun into let's say a giant kunai, whatever you would like to think of it. With each droplet, uh, the increase of the abilities becomes a magnitude of roughly 10 to 20 times stronger. It matters on the individual, really. But anyways, he will gain all of my abilities, and his lifespan would be increased by roughly usually 100 to 300 years. It really matters on the individual and their genetics, their species. Really, how I made you. Certain species is more adaptable to divine essence and divine blood, so it matters on them. Also, after giving him a piece of my divine blood, you will have a increased knowledge of the universe and its inner workings, far more than any other mortal could gain naturally. So he would have a very heightened intelligence, one of almost knowing everything about the universe, almost godlike. Also, he would gain the abilities to coat him any weapon or object he would have possess, and he can coat it in his own blood, or I would say my divine blood that I will bestow upon him, and turn that into a divine weapon of whatever sorts. That's the reason why I don't usually do this, because he will be able to, well, kill me, for example, even though it never would happen, never in a trillion years, never would happen. But even the weakest god or deity can create a weapon that would be able to slay even father, for example. But like I say, would never happen. So now that you know everything about what happened to your son, there's one more reason, the whole reason why I would even do this. It's because, well, about I'll say, I think it was about 50, maybe 100 million years ago, I created a species, but I gave them, well, the first one I created, I gave him a droplet of my divine blood. And I didn't really know this was a problem, since I thought making a divine race they could improve their own lives easily by having my divine blood and help other species, by, well, being their caretakers, guardians, whatever would happen. But sadly, this was a mistake. Father did not like me directly meddling in the lives of the mortals that I created by myself, by my own hands. And well, since I made them too strong and they reproduced too fast, their entire species now, even though there's a small number of them, only roughly 1,000, barely over 1,000, they all have a droplet of my divine blood. If it was just one individual, like for say your son, and he would reproduce with another mortal, well, the divine essence would pass down to about, well, half a droplet, nothing, would have a slightly extended lifespan, and the grandchild would have barely none, be no difference at all. But since the entire species in their own blood has a little piece of divinity for myself, they all have a concentrated amount. So they're too strong. They've been conquering worlds. And they're trying to conquer yours, to be in fact. What happened, well, I would say 500 to 1,000 years ago, roughly. The species, I called them, I named them the Kainu originally, but they changed themselves to, they want to name themselves Osuski. But it doesn't really matter. They tried to conquer a world, use it as a seed to create chakra, to make a world tree. That's what I like to call them anyways. Well, anyways, that doesn't matter. Anyways, I would like your son to train, and once he's able to, go out into the universe and, well, wipe out their species, since they're a bunch of war craving. All they care about is power. And, well, I hope that your son and you yourself wouldn't want to endanger this planet because, well, there's actually one on this planet right now. That at least. No. Two. My bad. There's two on this planet right now. I just sensed him. But, well, it doesn't matter. There's two on this planet. One is sealed away at the moment and one is not. So, they will destroy your planet eventually and kill everyone you love. Minato. Everyone you could care about. Everyone that your son may care about if you let me revive him. So, what do you say? Will you help me? Help your creator, your own father. Save this universe. Well, yes, of course. Who will want to accept this deal, Kami? I accept it. My name is Minato Namikaze, and I accept this deal. Revive my son. You have it. With a snap of my finger, he is now a god. Okay, now this is where I'm going to be ending What If Naruto went Back in Time. Part 2. See you guys later. Peace out.